Welcome to Angelo's Tennis. And you can't improve your timing. It's not possible to improve, to deliberately try and improve your timing. Any tips you may hear about improving your timing, like take the ball early, take the ball at the peak, do this, do that, it's complete bullshit. It's not real. You cannot deliberately try and improve your timing. And I'm going to explain in this video exactly what I mean by that. First of all, let's break down what timing is and why so many players want to feel that good feeling that you get when you have good timing. Well, most players are getting good timing because there's them and there's the partner, and both players are playing in sync with each other. They're very accurate usually. They're very high level players, or you could just say that they're both playing very similar speeds, very similar styles. They have very similar skills. And usually at the top of the game, we see players playing at high speeds. They're fully developed tennis players. So for the most part, it's not all the players. And if you watch some of them talk and hear some of their interviews and watch them play, they don't always play in sync with each other. I'm sure they don't like to play. There's some players they don't like to practice with for this reason. But when you have two players that are hitting at higher speeds usually, and they're accurate, they're high skilled, etc., you get a good feeling. You get that good timing. And usually as well, fast courts will do this. So if you're playing, if you're playing on grass or if you're playing on a hard court, most players enjoy playing on faster hard courts. Quick little side story. When I was installing my court, I told the installer to make it very, very slow. And it was almost pretty much as slow as clay. It was a hard court. I've actually never played on a hard court as slow as this court that this guy made for me. And he was concerned about even installing the court this way because he had installed a court down the street for a college, and he had to redo all 6 courts because the college players were complaining so much that they couldn't play on these slow courts, that he had to redo the whole construction for the college for free. So this is the idea of timing, and the reason why you can't deliberately improve your timing is because of the reasons I just gave you. All these things have to be in place. If you're relying on this in order to improve your timing, it's only going to be good. Your timing is only going to be good in certain situations. And this is where we have tennis players acting as snobs. And you've probably heard this before. I only want to play with this player. I don't want to play with that player. Because they're looking to improve their tennis this way. They think they have control over it because it feels good. And I'm not saying that it isn't important to feel good because it can give you confidence, obviously. But when you know this and you're feeling bad, there's no need to doubt yourself. There's no need to feel bad that you're playing bad. You know how it works. You just push through it. And I used to get this. You might ask yourself a question. Well, and I used to get this as a coach. Well, then why am I paying you? What am I paying you for if you're not going to tell me what to do? If you're not going to deliberately show me how to improve my timing? And you know what I say to that? I say the reason you're fucking paying me is because you have doubt. I don't have doubt. You have doubt as a player. And I don't. And doubt will kill your tennis. Doubt will crush your tennis. And I'm showing you I'm showing you the solution to relieving doubt 100% all the time in any circumstance, so that you don't need to keep paying me over and over and over again. Or maybe you pay me because this information is so good, you come back and you want more. You want to know how to get really good at tennis, because what I just gave you is worth way more than the $50, the petty $50 you just paid me for an hour lesson. And that's why you're paying me. And timing, that's timing. Why does it work this way? Well, it's because of coordination. When all these things are in play, it's very easy to feel good. It's very easy to time the ball well. But as soon as the ball's moved to the right, as soon as the ball's slowed down, think of all the varied speeds that a player would play and the varied positions that the ball lands. Now, people will talk about, well, it's footwork, and it's footwork, it's footwork. All I fucking hear is footwork. It's footwork. It's not footwork. It's not footwork. It's because you have to move to a space where a ball is moving at you in a varied speed, and you have to hit it with this fucking racket that's just almost as small as a hand, and then you have to hit it to the other side, etc. Deal with the strings and whatnot. And this it's hard. It's hard. That's why it's called coordination. That's why when your coordination is really at a high level, you can do these things. You don't complain about timing. When your coordination isn't that good, when you're not as coordinated as a high level tennis player, you're gonna complain. That's why you don't see players like Roger Federer complain about this shit, because he has trained himself to think this way. And that's why you see the lower players who want to complain, that don't want to understand this. They want to constantly think they have control over everything. And what I mean by you deliberately can't control this, it's also been said that, and many people, I've heard people say this, and many people get to this point, well, if you want to get really good, you just got to play a lot. And there's some truth to that. The guys that are professional tennis players are playing every day, sometimes 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I used to think that this wasn't possible because the body couldn't handle it. Well, when they're playing the way they're playing with this in mind, the body can handle it, because you're not just out there just killing yourself every day. It's just the idea of being on the court every day, having that ball go back and forth. When I had my club and I was on the court 3 or 4 hours a day, doing the practices the way I wanted to do them, because I was the coach and the players were under my guidance. It didn't matter what ball I was using. The benefit came from being on the court and having the ball going back and forth at varied speeds. It didn't matter if I was playing with a 7-year-old. It didn't matter if I was playing with a 10-year-old. In the end, I benefited from all of that, and my coordination, I can tell you, was at the highest level it was ever at. I would rarely miss. I felt amazing, and I could play. My timing was impeccable, regardless of who I was playing, regardless of the ball I was using, regardless of the speed of the court. It didn't matter. And this is a thing to keep in mind when we're talking about why that works, that you're playing all of the time. And it's almost that it doesn't even matter what you're doing. It's just being in that environment, being on the court, passing the ball back and forth. It makes tennis very easy for you. And most of the time when players say tennis is hard, it's because they're not on the court every day. They can't. They have other things to do. They have jobs. And they come on the court. They're looking for your guidance as a coach. And they're looking for you to help right then and there. And you can't. So what do we do as coaches? We give them tips. We give them advice that makes them feel like they're getting their money's worth. And I don't have to do this on this. I don't have to do that on this channel. So we're not going to get into that bullshit on Angelo's Tennis. If you think this information is valuable, subscribe to the channel. I got much more information that's going to confirm this. I'm going to show you how to approach tennis the long-term way, the way that is going to make you a tennis master. At the very least, you're going to know what the fuck you're talking about.